Hello and welcome to Lesson 4 of Year 8 Maths, Fractions, Percentages and Decimals. In this lesson, we will be looking at converting percentages to fractions and percentages to decimals. So first of all, we are going to look at percentages to fractions, in which there are a few steps listed. Step 1, the number of the percentage becomes the numerator of the fraction, so that's the upper number. Step 2, the denominator, so the lower part of the fraction, must be 100. And then step 3, can the fraction be simplified? For our first example, we are going to look at 71%. So step 1, the number of the percentage becomes the numerator, which means 71 will become the upper part of the fraction. Step 2, the denominator must be 100, so 100 is the lower part of the fraction. And step 3, can the fraction be simplified? The fraction so far is 71 over 100. 71 is a prime number, therefore there are no common factors, and also no common factors in comparison to 100. Therefore, the fraction is in its simplest form. Also, because this is a proper fraction, you can leave it this way. Therefore, the answer to example 1, 71%, is 71 over 100 as a fraction. In example 2, we have 340%. 100% and under will give you a proper fraction, whereas if you work with any percentage over 100, it will leave you with an improper fraction, which you must convert into a mixed fraction to give your final answer. So step 1, the number of the percentage becomes the numerator, 340%. So 340 is your numerator. Step 2, the denominator must be 100. So there is your denominator. And this here is an improper fraction. Step 3, can the fraction be simplified? So 340 over 100, you can see zeros at the end, so already we're thinking, yes, there are some common factors in there, so we can simplify this fraction further. And the highest common factor for this fraction is 20. So both the numerator and the denominator will be divided by 20, which gives us a new improper fraction of 17 over 5. Now, as we said, 17 over 5 is an improper fraction, which we must convert to a mixed fraction to get our final answer. Go back to lesson 2 if you wish to revise conversion between fractions. So converted to a mixed fraction, 340% is the same as saying 3 and 2 over 5, or 3 and 2/5. We are now going to be looking at converting percentages to decimals. There are two methods, but they both have the same effect of dividing by 100. So number 1, move the decimal point 2 places back, or simply divide by 100. But if you do this, then you should show you're working out. So first we are going to move the decimal point 2 places back. We have 11.20%. So in this illustration, you can see the decimal point moving 2 places back. And this gives us 0.1120. Now, if there is nothing in front of the decimal place, assume that this is a 0. So our answer now will be 0.1120. But if you are asked to round to 2 decimal places, remember the steps in looking at the number in the third place, which is a 2. So we round down. Our answer to 2 decimal places will be 0.11. So as a reminder, 11.20% is a decimal answer of 0.11. And now we'll go to our second example, in which this time we will simply divide by 100. And the percentage we are using here is 729%. So 729 divided by 100, which is 7.29. So therefore our percentage of 729% is given as 7.29 as a decimal. Thank you for watching my video on percentages to fractions and percentages to decimals. In the next lesson, which will be the final lesson of the series, we will be looking at converting decimals to fractions and decimals to percentages.